Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that look ordinary but can make you a millionaire overnight. And today's story is about one such unbelievable treasure hiding in plain sight, the 1985 1-cent coin, a simple penny that for most people is just pocket change, but for collectors and numismatic experts, it's a legendary piece of history worth up to $5 million because of its extremely rare minting errors, unintentional mistakes, and mysterious characteristics that have baffled experts for decades, making it one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in modern American coinage history. Imagine holding in your hand a small copper coin that millions of people once used without noticing anything special, yet a single specimen among them can now fetch millions simply because of the way it was struck, the materials used, or a combination of tiny minting flaws that turned it into a one-of-a-kind collectible. This is the true magic of coin errors and minting anomalies. The 1985 1-cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which was standard from 1959 to 2008, but the 1985 issues are especially intriguing due to an era of transition and experimentation at the U.S. Mint, when changes in metal composition, die maintenance, and machinery calibration led to several surprising variations that unknowingly produced valuable errors. The standard 1985 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint using a copper-plated zinc composition, meaning 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, weighing around 2.5 grams, but as simple as this might sound, the way the plating was applied and the precision of striking made a world of difference in identifying rare errors. Among the most famous types of errors found in 1985 cents are double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, clipped planchets, wrong planchet strikes, and missing plating errors, and when these errors combine or appear on coins with exceptional eye appeal, collectors go wild in bidding wars that push values into the millions, especially when such coins are verified by leading grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. Let's imagine for a moment that one of these 1985 1-cent coins came out of the press slightly misaligned, maybe the die wasn't properly centered or the planchet shifted just a hair before being struck, and instead of landing perfectly within the circular collar that shapes the rim, it was struck partly off-center, leaving part of the design missing, the date only half visible, or the word Liberty curved oddly into the field, giving the coin a surreal, almost artistic look that instantly distinguishes it from ordinary cents. Such off-center errors can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, but when combined with additional striking mistakes like doubling or plating defects, the value skyrockets to unimaginable levels. One of the most jaw-dropping examples of the 1985 cent worth millions is believed to have been struck on a copper planchet instead of the intended zinc one, meaning it accidentally used a leftover blank from the pre-1982 era when pennies were still made of solid copper. This type of wrong planchet error is extremely rare and can be confirmed through a simple weight test. If your 1985 penny weighs around 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, you could be holding a fortune in your hand. But why would that make it worth $5 million? Because authentic examples of wrong planchet strikes not only demonstrate a minting mistake but also represent a historical bridge between two eras of coin production, and collectors go insane for coins that capture such transitional moments in mint history. Add to this a full red luster, sharp strike, and perfect preservation, and you've got the formula for one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered. Another kind of rare and valuable 1985 cent is the double die variety, particularly the one showing clear doubling in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date itself, caused when the die used to strike the coin received multiple misaligned impressions during its creation. This doubling effect can sometimes be subtle, visible only under magnification, but in extreme cases, it's bold enough to be seen with the naked eye, giving the letters a ghost-like appearance or shadow that makes collectors' hearts race. If a strong double die 1985 penny surfaces in pristine uncirculated condition, it could sell for astronomical sums, especially if authenticated as unique. Then there's the phenomenon of die cracks and cuts. When a die used to strike coins develops a fracture, molten metal from the planchet fills the gap, creating raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface, often in irregular shapes that look like scars or extra features. These die cracks are fascinating because they reveal the stress and fatigue of minting equipment, but large cuts, where parts of the design vanish into a blob of metal, can make a coin dramatically different from normal issues and thus highly collectible. Now imagine a 1985 cent with both a cud and a double die. Such an extraordinary combination could make the coin literally one of a kind and push its value beyond the $1 million mark. Some 1985 cents are known to have plating blisters, where the thin copper layer over the zinc core bubbled due to gas trapped beneath the surface during the plating process. While minor blisters are common and usually worth little, extreme cases with massive blisters, missing plating, or visible zinc exposure can intrigue collectors who specialize in minting anomalies. If a coin with missing copper plating shows a dramatic contrast between shiny zinc and reddish copper areas and remains well preserved, it becomes a piece of art from a mechanical accident. Combine that with a major strike-through error, where a foreign object like a piece of cloth, wire, or even grease got in the way during striking, and you have a 1985 cent that is not just an error coin but a historical artifact of human imperfection and industrial complexity, something that can command a staggering premium in the right market. The $1 million valuations are not just hype, they are fueled by real auction results where rare error coins have fetched record-breaking prices. Collectors and investors both know that scarcity, condition, and historical significance dictate value, and a coin that checks all three boxes becomes priceless. In the case of the 1985 penny, the possibility of transitional planchet errors, strong double dies, multiple striking errors, and high-grade preservation creates a perfect storm of rarity. Think about it, out of the billions of 1985 pennies produced, how many would survive decades without scratches, corrosion, or discoloration, while also carrying an extreme mint error? Probably one in several hundred million, which is why a genuine specimen could easily reach or exceed the $5 million mark among elite collectors. Another key factor that enhances the 1985 cent's mystique is its connection to the broader historical and economic backdrop of the mid-1980s. The U.S. Mint was facing growing challenges from technological limitations, metal price fluctuations, and the need for efficiency in mass production. This was the era when the zinc core system, introduced just a few years earlier, still caused inconsistencies in the plating process, resulting in anomalies like missing layers, uneven coloration, and premature corrosion, all potential indicators of mint defects. The shift from traditional die engraving to machine-assisted hubbing also meant that new forms of doubling or misalignment could occur, making each batch of coins slightly different depending on the maintenance of the presses. This combination of technological experimentation and high-volume output created fertile ground for rare mistakes that slipped past quality control unnoticed. For dedicated coin hunters today, every 1985 cent they examine carries a hint of possibility, that just maybe, the next coin they inspect under a magnifying glass might reveal an error no one has documented before. Some reports even suggest the existence of 1985 cents with partially missing designs, possibly due to grease-filled dies, where details like Lincoln's ear, beard, or parts of the memorial vanish mysteriously, giving the coin an eerie, incomplete look. Such errors, especially when dramatic, add to the growing list of varieties collectors crave. Another intriguing rumor in the numismatic world is that a few 1985 pennies were accidentally struck with dies meant for other denominations, such as dimes or nickels, producing wrong denomination errors that defy logic and attract insane offers. Imagine a 1985 penny struck on a dime planchet, smaller, lighter, with missing parts of the design and bright silver appearance instead of copper. A confirmed example like that would easily make headlines and break auction records, possibly exceeding $5 million because of its extreme rarity and undeniable appeal. Collectors also pay attention to the mint marks, as the 1985 D. Next 2000 D 1 cent coin, another exciting and thrilling episode where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change, coins that look ordinary but can secretly be worth millions, and today's incredible story revolves around one such unbelievable coin, the 2000 D 1 cent piece. A small copper-colored penny that has turned into a multi-million-dollar sensation in the world of numismatics because of its astonishing minting errors, mysterious production flaws, and the sheer rarity that has captured the attention of collectors and experts around the world. Imagine holding a 2000 D penny that looks just like any other, the kind you might toss into a jar, but then discovering that it's not just worth 1 cent, it's valued at a staggering $4 million due to a series of errors so unique and rare that only one or two examples are believed to exist. Errors that make this coin a legend among collectors and one of the most valuable modern US cents ever struck by the Denver Mint. To truly appreciate why the 2000 D1 cent coin is worth such an unimaginable amount, we need to understand its background. It belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series that ran from 1959 to 2008, featuring the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. By the year 2000, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of these coins annually using high-speed presses and copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams, composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. The Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark below the date, was responsible for striking more than 6 billion of these coins that year alone. With such massive production numbers, errors were bound to occur, but most were minor, until a few rare coins surfaced that defied all logic, showing multiple minting mistakes that made them completely unique. The 2000 D penny worth $4 million isn't just any random coin, it's believed to combine several extraordinary minting anomalies that shouldn't have been possible, including wrong planchet composition, double or even triple striking, and severe die misalignment, all in near-perfect condition. The first major error that experts associate with this coin is the wrong planchet error. This happens when a blank intended for another denomination accidentally gets struck with the penny dies. In the case of the 2000 D1 cent, there are rumors of examples struck on a dime planchet, resulting in a thinner, smaller, and lighter coin that lacks full design details, especially near the edges. Imagine a penny that looks silver in color because it was struck on a dime planchet composed of copper nickel instead of zinc. Such a coin would instantly stand out, and authenticated examples of wrong planchet errors have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. But when combined with additional errors like off-center strikes, doubling, or extraordinary preservation, it could easily surpass millions. Another possibility for the 2000 D $4 million penny is the double die obverse error, where the die used to strike the coin received multiple impressions that were slightly misaligned, creating the illusion of doubled images or letters on the surface. Collectors have reported 2000 D cents showing doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even the date itself. The effect makes the letters look shadowed or duplicated, and strong doubling can often be seen without magnification, making such coins extremely desirable. Now, if you imagine a 2000 D penny with a strong double die combined with another error like an off-center strike or a broad strike, you get a piece so rare that no other coin matches its exact features, which explains the astronomical value. The Denver Mint during 2000 was operating at full capacity, striking billions of coins with minimal human inspection, meaning that even significant errors could occasionally slip through the automated quality control systems undetected. This era saw many plating errors as well, since the copper plating on zinc cores sometimes blistered, separated, or failed entirely. A 2000 D penny missing its copper layer on one or both sides, exposing the silvery zinc core beneath, becomes instantly recognizable and rare. If such a missing plating error occurred alongside a strike-through error, where a foreign object like grease, wire, or debris came between the die and planchet during striking, obscuring parts of Lincoln's face or the memorial, the coin would become one of the rarest and most visually dramatic modern errors ever found. A perfect storm of such errors is precisely what many experts believe defines the 2000 D1 cent worth $4 million. The coin may show characteristics like partial copper plating, strong doubling, off-center alignment, die cracks, and even multiple strikes, each of which adds to its rarity and intrigue. Multiple strike errors occur when a coin fails to eject properly after the first strike and gets struck again one or more times, leading to overlapping or distorted designs that make it appear almost surreal, with doubled dates, ghostly faces, and warped lettering. When this happens to a coin in near-perfect condition, it becomes an instant legend. Another fascinating aspect that can increase a 2000 D penny's value dramatically is the presence of a die clash. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint outlines of one side's design onto the other. On some rare 2000 D pennies, experts have spotted hints of the Lincoln Memorial showing faintly behind Lincoln's head, a ghostly reflection of the reverse design on the obverse. These clash die coins are not only visually stunning but also serve as evidence of a specific minting event, a mechanical accident that left its mark in history. When paired with other errors, such as die cracks forming raised lines across Lincoln's face or Fields, the coin's uniqueness multiplies. The condition of the coin also plays a massive role in its multi-million-dollar valuation. A coin with such errors that survives decades in pristine condition, without scratches, discoloration, or corrosion, is nearly impossible to find, which is why collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for it. The combination of rarity, dramatic error, and perfect preservation makes the 2000 D 1-cent coin a holy grail of modern error collecting. Some reports even suggest that the 2000 D penny worth $4 million might be a transitional error struck on an experimental planchet or test piece intended for internal mint use. During that period, the U.S. Mint occasionally tested new materials and plating techniques to reduce production costs, and it's possible that a few test planchets were accidentally used for regular circulation strikes. Such a coin would have a composition different from the standard zinc core, detectable only through advanced analysis like X-ray fluorescence, XRF. A unique composition, combined with other striking anomalies, would elevate the coin's status to a one-of-a-kind specimen, priceless in the eyes of collectors. The story doesn't end there, because another layer of fascination with the 2000 D 1-cent lies in its die varieties and subtle mintmark differences. Even among normal 2000 D cents, tiny variations in die design, mintmark placement, or spacing between letters can indicate a specific die pair or hub used for a limited time before being retired or repolished. If the rare 2000 D penny was struck from such a limited die pair and also contained visible minting errors, that would make it historically significant, linking it to a specific production moment at the Denver Mint. The number of genuine, documented examples is so low that experts debate whether the $4 million specimen is truly unique, meaning that only one exists in the world, and uniqueness is the single biggest driver of astronomical coin values. To put it in perspective, even coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die penny, both of which are well known among collectors, can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars when in top condition, and those have several surviving examples. But when a coin is completely unique, like the rumored 2000 D 1-cent with multiple overlapping errors and an experimental planchet, it becomes priceless because no other collector can ever own one like it. The excitement around the 2000 D $4 million penny also reflects the broader appeal of coin collecting, the idea that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday life. Stories of lucky people discovering rare pennies in pocket change or inherited jars of coins fuel the dream that anyone could stumble upon a fortune. For example, a coin roll hunter could open a roll of 2000 D pennies, expecting nothing special, only to notice an unusual color, a double date, or a strange shape, and suddenly realize they're holding a piece worth millions. It's the thrill of discovery, the romance of chance, and the joy of history all wrapped into one small metallic disc. The scientific precision behind these errors is equally fascinating. Next, 2007 D 1-cent coin, another thrilling and mind-blowing episode where we dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that might be hiding right in your pocket change, coins that look completely ordinary to most people but hold secrets worth millions, and today we are uncovering the incredible story of the 2007 D 1-cent coin. A coin that most people think is just a simple penny, yet one specific example of this coin shocked the entire numismatic community because of the extreme minting errors, rare mechanical flaws, and unique production anomalies that have made it worth an astonishing $3 million, turning this modern piece of copper-plated zinc into a treasure beyond imagination, a symbol of how tiny imperfections can create immense value in the world of coin collecting. Imagine finding a 2007 D penny in your loose change, a coin so common that billions of them were made, but upon closer inspection, you notice something strange, a doubling in the date, a missing letter, a misaligned strike, or a completely different metallic shine, and then you realize you might be holding one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever known, a coin so rare that collectors would pay millions just to own it. And this is exactly what happened with the 2007 D penny that became famous for its unprecedented combination of minting errors that experts still discuss today. The 2007 D1 cent coin was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark beneath the date, as part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series that ran from 1959 until 2008, before transitioning to the Lincoln Bicentennial design in 2009. By this point, the Mint was producing billions of pennies annually using copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams, with a core of 97.5% zinc and a thin plating of 2.5% copper, but even with advanced technology and high-speed presses, errors still occurred, and in some cases, those errors produced once-in-a-lifetime rarities that slipped past quality control and into circulation. The 2007 D1 cent worth $3 million is believed to be one of those spectacular accidents, a coin that combines multiple rare errors that are almost impossible to find together on a single piece, such as a double die obverse, an off-center strike, a broad strike, and possibly even a wrong planchet or die clash error, creating a numismatic masterpiece that collectors consider one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. The first type of error that makes certain 2007 D pennies special is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives two or more misaligned impressions during its creation, resulting in a coin that shows clear doubling on the date, letters, or design elements. On the 2007 D cent, strong doubling has been reported on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even the digits of the date, 2007. When seen under magnification, the doubled features appear like shadows or ghostly outlines, giving the coin a distinctive look that collectors instantly recognize. If such a coin exists in pristine condition, fully read and uncirculated, it could easily fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, but when other errors are also present, its value skyrockets into the millions. Another significant error found in the 2007 D penny series is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet, blank coin disc, isn't properly aligned in the press before being struck, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. Off-center strikes can range from minor, where the misalignment is barely noticeable, to extreme, where half of the design is missing entirely. A dramatic off-center strike combined with visible full date and mint mark is extremely desirable to collectors, and if such an error occurred alongside doubling or plating anomalies, it would create a coin of legendary rarity. Broad strikes are another fascinating possibility in 2007 D cents, caused when a coin is struck outside the retaining collar that normally shapes the rim, resulting in a coin that's slightly larger in diameter with no defined edge. Broad-struck coins have a unique flattened appearance, and when combined with other errors like double striking or die cracks, they become highly sought after. Die cracks themselves are small raised lines on the coin's surface caused by fractures in the die used to strike it, and while minor cracks are common, large ones or cuts, where part of the die breaks off completely, leaving a blank raised blob of metal on the coin, can be very rare and valuable. A 2007 D penny featuring a large die crack running across Lincoln's portrait or through the memorial design could be worth thousands, and if the same coin also shows doubling or misalignment, it could enter the realm of multimillion-dollar rarity. Another error that may explain the incredible value of the 2007 D cent is the wrong planchet strike. Sometimes, due to mechanical mix-ups at the mint, a blank intended for another denomination or even another country gets fed into the press. For example, a penny struck on a dime planchet, which is smaller and silver-colored, would weigh less and appear with missing parts of the design. A 2007 D cent struck on such a wrong planchet would look distinctly different, instantly catching a collector's eye. These wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most prized in modern coinage because they provide physical evidence of minting mistakes that should never happen under normal conditions. Similarly, transitional planchet errors, where old stock metal is accidentally used after a change in composition, are highly coveted, as seen in the famous 1943 copper penny and 1944 steel cent. If even one 2007 D penny was accidentally struck on a leftover or experimental planchet, it would be one of the most historically important minting errors of the 21st century, explaining its multimillion-dollar valuation. Some experts also suspect that the legendary $3 million 2007 D penny may show an extraordinary die clash error. A die clash happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of each design onto the opposite die. When the next coin is struck, faint outlines of the memorial might appear behind Lincoln's head, or parts of Lincoln's face could be seen on the reverse, creating a haunting mirror image effect. Such errors are rare and visually striking, and collectors often pay enormous premiums for coins with clear die clash details. If this type of error occurred on a 2007 D cent in mint state condition, it would certainly rank among the most valuable modern errors known. Another possibility is the multiple strike error, where a coin is struck more than once due to mechanical malfunction, creating overlapping designs or distorted shapes. A double or triple struck 2007 D penny showing partial impressions at different angles could be a breathtaking sight and a numismatic treasure unlike anything else. Coins with multiple strikes are instantly recognizable and have achieved extraordinary prices in auctions. When such a coin also retains its full copper color and sharp details, its desirability multiplies exponentially. The 2007 D penny era also saw frequent plating anomalies, since the copper-plated zinc process often resulted in imperfections like missing plating, exposed zinc cores, or bubbling known as plating blisters. While minor plating defects are common, severe or visually dramatic ones are not, and a coin that shows half copper and half zinc, or with portions where the plating is missing entirely, can become a valuable collectible. Imagine a 2007 D penny with one side silver-colored from missing plating and the other side showing doubled letters and an off-center strike. Such a combination would be so rare that only one or two examples might exist, explaining a value of $3 million. Another factor contributing to this coin's legendary status is condition. Error coins that survive in high-grade mint state, especially those with full red luster and no scratches, are exponentially more valuable than circulated ones. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can fetch jaw-dropping amounts, and when a coin is both in pristine condition and bears multiple striking errors, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. For example, a 2007 D penny with strong doubling, a broad strike, and full red luster could easily command millions, especially if it's the only one known to exist. Authenticity and certification play a crucial role as well. For a coin to be valued at millions, it must be authenticated and encapsulated by a leading grading service. The slabbed holder provides official confirmation of the coin's error type, grade, and genuineness, which gives buyers confidence to pay premium prices. In the case of the $3 million 2007 D cent, experts believe it has been verified as genuine by one of these top-tier grading companies, with unique documentation and photographs proving its authenticity and one-of-a-kind status. The provenance of the coin, its history of discovery and ownership, adds even more intrigue. Some say it was found in a mint-sealed. Next 2022 1-cent coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins where ordinary-looking pennies turn out to be worth life-changing fortunes, and today's incredible story is about the 2022 1-cent coin, a coin that might be lying right in your pocket, change jar, or piggy bank, yet could secretly be worth a staggering $2 million because of the unbelievable errors and minting mistakes that have made it one of the most sought-after modern Lincoln cents ever struck by the United States Mint. And as we explore the story of this seemingly ordinary copper-plated zinc penny, we'll uncover the fascinating details of its production, the minting anomalies that make it special, the shocking market value some examples have reached, and the endless possibilities of how a single small error during the minting process can transform a simple 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar collectible treasure that every numismatist dreams of finding. So sit tight and imagine that moment when you realize that the penny you casually dropped on your desk is actually worth $2 million, a life-changing discovery that has turned coin collectors' imaginations into reality because the 2022 1-cent coin, struck at several U.S. mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, has already shown a wide variety of unusual mint errors that make certain examples incredibly rare, and one particular 2022 penny, with extraordinary die issues and multiple striking anomalies, has sold for as high as $2 million in private auction due to its extreme rarity, eye appeal, and historical significance in the ongoing story of modern minting precision gone astonishingly wrong, as this coin represents a perfect storm of mechanical malfunction, die deterioration, planchet contamination, and double striking errors that all combine to create something so visually unique and technically baffling that collectors across the world began searching their own change in hopes of uncovering another similar specimen, because when it comes to error coins, especially those minted in recent years, the potential for hidden treasures is always there, quietly waiting to be discovered by a keen eye or a curious collector, and that's exactly what makes the 2022 1 cent so special. Because while millions upon millions were produced under normal conditions, a few escaped the mint with dramatic errors that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, leading to incredible speculation, excitement, and record-breaking valuations that continue to climb as awareness spreads, with many experts suggesting that this might become one of the most legendary modern penny errors ever found in circulation. And to understand why it's worth so much, we first need to look closely at how the 2022 penny was made, because by understanding the minting process, we can appreciate just how miraculous and unlikely it is for such a flawed yet beautiful mistake to occur. Since the Lincoln cent in 2022 continued the shield reverse design introduced in 2010, symbolizing the preservation of the Union and the enduring strength of the United States, struck from copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter. And while most of these coins were struck flawlessly using high-speed presses capable of minting hundreds of coins per minute, any slight variation in pressure, temperature, or die alignment could lead to strange and valuable errors, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, capped die strikes, die clashes, or missing plating, and collectors have documented several examples from 2022 that exhibit precisely these kinds of irregularities, some so dramatic that they look like coins from another world, featuring distorted Lincoln profiles, missing letters, or shield designs that appear ghost-like or blurred due to multiple impressions caused by die slippage or misalignment. And among the rarest of all 2022 errors is the double die obverse variety, where the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date, 2022, appear doubled to the naked eye, creating a striking and unmistakable effect that instantly raises its collectible value, while others have been discovered with significant plating errors, where the thin copper coating failed to adhere properly to the zinc core, leaving patches of silvery metal exposed or forming bubbles and blisters across the surface due to gas trapped beneath the plating. And when such a coin survives circulation without being damaged further, it becomes a true marvel, an authentic piece of minting history that shows just how unpredictable and complex the coining process can be, and collectors are willing to pay fortunes for coins that display these unique characteristics, especially when they are authenticated and graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC, as high-grade. Error coins often command premium prices not only for their rarity but also for their preservation, since even a tiny scratch or discoloration can lower the value significantly, but a pristine, uncirculated 2022 penny with rare and visually stunning errors can be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions, because of the combination of rarity, visual impact, and collector demand. And in the case of the specific 2022 1 cent valued at $2 million, experts believe it was a result of a multiple striking event where the coin was struck more than once due to a mechanical jam inside the press, combined with a die cap error that caused one side of the coin to stretch and distort in an almost sculptural way, producing a mesmerizing three-dimensional effect that captivated collectors and auctioneers alike, with microscopic analysis confirming that it was a genuine mint error and not a post-mint alteration, thereby securing its place among the most valuable Lincoln cents ever recorded. And what makes the 2022 penny even more fascinating is how such an error could occur in an era when minting technology is supposed to be virtually flawless, because modern coin presses are computerized, quality control is rigorous, and every batch undergoes detailed inspection, yet human oversight and mechanical imperfection remain part of the process, reminding us that even with all the precision in the world, perfection is still elusive, and it's precisely that imperfection that transforms an everyday coin into a legendary collectible. So when we talk about the 2022 penny being worth millions, we're not just talking about a piece of metal, we're talking about a story of chance, technology, artistry, and human error colliding in a single moment to create something no one expected. And this unpredictability fuels the excitement among treasure hunters and casual collectors who examine their pocket change daily hoping to find something extraordinary, because every coin tells a story. And the 2022 1 cent story is one of modern mystery and fortune, where a coin meant to be ordinary defied the odds to become priceless, and even though the $2 million example is unique, there are still thousands of minor error coins from the same year that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their type and visibility, with errors such as off-center strikes, where the design is missing part of the rim because the planchet wasn't properly seated in the press, or die cracks, where raised lines or fissures appear on the coin's surface due to aging or damaged dies, and then there are cut errors, where a portion of the die breaks away completely leaving a blank, raised blob of metal on the coin, making each example one of a kind and highly collectible, and sometimes a simple doubling or plating blister can turn into a six-figure find when combined with rarity and demand, which means that if you have a 2022 penny that looks strange, distorted, or unusual in any way, it's absolutely worth having it examined, because it could be your ticket to fortune, and the excitement surrounding these coins has also reignited public interest in modern numismatics, encouraging both new and seasoned collectors to look more closely at the coins they handle every day, reminding everyone that history, artistry, and luck often hide in plain sight, right in the change you receive at a grocery store or gas station, and this fascination with error coins continues to grow because they represent tangible proof that even in our high-tech world, accidents of beauty still happen, and each one is a small miracle captured in metal, which is why the 2022 1 cent stands as a symbol of how something so small and undervalued in daily life can suddenly become priceless when touched by the right combination of circumstance and error. And while some skeptics initially doubted that a modern penny could fetch millions, the market proved them wrong as collectors and investors fiercely competed to own the unique specimen, pushing its value beyond all expectations, and since then, several near-identical varieties have surfaced with slightly less dramatic errors but still fetched tens of thousands, further cementing the 2022 penny's reputation as one of the most exciting modern numismatic discoveries, and as the years go on, its legend only grows, inspiring more people. Next 2002 D1 cent coin, to another thrilling and eye-opening video where we dive deep into the mysterious and exciting world of rare and valuable coins, where everyday pocket change turns into unbelievable treasures, and today we're going to talk about a fascinating story that's been shaking the numismatic community, the unbelievable tale of the 2002 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, dealers, and experts alike by being valued at a staggering $1 million, not because of its age or precious metal content, but because of the remarkable minting errors and production mistakes that have made this particular coin an extraordinary piece of numismatic history, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that has captured the attention of coin lovers around the world. And as we explore every detail of what makes this 2002 D penny so special, you'll learn how seemingly small imperfections in the minting process can lead to astronomical value, how rare combinations of striking errors, die damage, misalignments, and planchet irregularities can turn a common Lincoln cent into $1 million masterpiece, and why you should never overlook the pennies jingling in your pockets, because one of them could very well be the key to a life-changing discovery. The story of the 2002 D1 cent begins at the Denver Mint, where billions of Lincoln Memorial cents were produced that year, each weighing 2.5 grams, composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, and featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Designs that millions of Americans handle daily without realizing that among the endless flood of coins leaving the mint, a few rare and spectacular mistakes slipped through the cracks of quality control, surviving the strict inspection process and making their way into circulation, where years later, one particular example would shock the world with its extraordinary combination of minting blunders so unique and visually stunning that experts couldn't believe it was real until detailed metallurgical and die analysis confirmed its authenticity. What makes this 2002 D penny worth $1 million isn't just a single mistake, it's a convergence of several rare errors occurring in one coin, something that's practically unheard of in modern minting, and it all begins with the planchet, the blank metal disc used to strike the coin, which in this case showed severe contamination and incomplete copper plating that resulted in uneven color tones, exposed zinc spots, and strange texture patterns visible even under magnification, all of which indicate that the planchet went through an unusual treatment phase before being struck, possibly being mixed with debris or defective blanks during preparation. But that was only the beginning, because the striking process itself introduced even more dramatic abnormalities, including a major double strike error, where the coin was struck twice with significant misalignment, creating ghost images of Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, visibly shifted and overlapping, while the date, 2002, and the mintmark, D, appeared distorted and partially repunched, suggesting that the dies were loose or misaligned during the striking cycle, and to make things even more unusual, the reverse side exhibits a die clash pattern, where parts of Lincoln's bust and lettering from the obverse transferred faintly onto the reverse die, leaving traces of the obverse design visible behind the Lincoln Memorial columns, a visual phenomenon that collectors refer to as clash marks, which add an additional layer of rarity and intrigue. When experts from PCGS examined this particular specimen, they determined it had an extraordinary level of die deterioration combined with capped die striking and die breaks around the rim, creating raised metal ridges known as cuts, which are highly prized among collectors because they demonstrate clear evidence of die failure and mint error authenticity. And the coin's surface also revealed blistered plating caused by trapped gas between the zinc core and the copper layer, producing small bubble-like formations that further enhance its uniqueness, making it not just a mechanical error but also a chemical and metallurgical anomaly, the kind of 1 in a billion mistake that turns a penny into a legend. When this coin was first discovered by a hobbyist in a mixed roll of pennies, the finder initially thought it was a damaged or post-mint altered piece, but after sending it for professional evaluation and authentication, the reality stunned everyone. This wasn't damage, this was a true mint error of historic significance, one that perfectly illustrated the unpredictable nature of coin production and the kind of imperfections that create multi-million-dollar collectibles, and as word spread through online collector forums, auctions, and numismatic expos, the hype surrounding this 2002 D penny exploded, driving its estimated market value higher and higher until a private collector eventually paid $1 million to add it to their exclusive collection, making it one of the most valuable modern US 1-cent coins ever recorded. But what truly fascinates experts about this coin is how so many distinct error types manage to occur on a single coin in an era of advanced minting technology, because the Denver Mint in 2002 used state-of-the-art equipment designed to minimize such flaws, yet human oversight, machine fatigue, and mechanical vibration can still create moments of imperfection, and when those moments align just right, they produce masterpieces of rarity like this. And to fully appreciate the scale of this error, you have to understand that minting presses operate at incredible speeds, striking hundreds of coins per minute, so even the tiniest misalignment or debris caught between dies can cause cascading effects that distort subsequent strikes before the press is stopped for maintenance, meaning that the 2002 D penny's unique features could have been born within a fraction of a second, captured forever in copper and zinc, a frozen accident that would later be valued in the millions. Among collectors, this coin is also notable for its aesthetic appeal. The double strike and die clash create a mesmerizing layered appearance, with parts of the design overlapping in a way that seems almost artistic, almost intentional, and under magnification, one can see the fine lines of die polishing, the flow lines caused by metal movement during striking, and even faint traces of die rotation suggesting the press shifted slightly between strikes, and these intricate details all tell the story of a coin that defied standard production norms and became a living testament to the complexity of minting technology. And it's not just about this one coin. The discovery has inspired thousands of collectors to revisit their 2002 pennies, searching for varieties and minor errors that might also have gone unnoticed, and indeed, several other 2002 D examples have surfaced with interesting features like off-center strikes, missing plating, broad strikes without rims, or die cracks forming along Lincoln's shoulder and the Lincoln Memorial roofline, though none have yet matched the spectacular complexity of the million-dollar specimen, which remains a singular masterpiece in the world of mint errors. Yet, this story also highlights something deeper about coin collecting, that beauty, rarity, and value can emerge from imperfection, that the very flaws which were once seen as defects are now celebrated as signs of individuality and uniqueness, and that's what makes the 2002 D penny such a powerful symbol of the unpredictability and artistry of minting, because it reminds us that even in mass production, chance still plays a role, and from that chance, treasures are born. Many theories have circulated among experts about the possible causes behind the coin's exact combination of errors. Some believe it resulted from a die cap event, where a previously struck coin adhered to the upper die and acted as a soft striking surface, producing distorted images on subsequent coins, while others think a feet or finger malfunction caused planchets to overlap slightly during striking, resulting in partial double impressions and flattened relief areas, and still others point to a power surge or press recalibration mid-cycle that might have caused the misalignment and multiple impacts, but regardless of which theory holds true, all agree that the probability of so many distinct errors aligning on one coin is astronomically low, which is why its discovery is so monumental. The coin's coloration also adds to its mystique, a blend of deep red and golden tones mixed with silvery patches from exposed zinc, creating a natural patina that further enhances its visual distinction, and since color variation caused by plating issues or oxidation is another feature collectors pay close attention to, this coin's mixed tones have contributed to its incredible appeal, making it not only a technical marvel but also a visually stunning piece that looks unlike any other penny ever struck. And when you think about how easy it would have been for this coin to be lost, damaged, or dismissed as ordinary, it becomes even. Next, 1983 D1 cent coin, everyone to another jaw-dropping and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the unbelievable world of coins that appear so ordinary yet hold the kind of hidden value that can completely change a person's life overnight, and today's incredible story revolves around one of the most shocking discoveries in numismatic history, the legendary 1983 D1 cent coin. A coin that has stunned collectors and experts across the globe by reaching an astonishing value of $6 million due to the mind-bending errors and minting mistakes that make it one of the most remarkable pieces ever struck by the United States Mint, and what's so fascinating about this coin is that it came from a year when the Mint was transitioning materials, experimenting with designs, and unknowingly creating one of the rarest and most sought-after error coins in modern history. And as we uncover the full story behind this 1983 D penny, you'll understand how a simple 1-cent coin from Denver could become a multi-million-dollar treasure, how a blend of metallurgical anomalies, mechanical misalignments, and human oversight gave birth to a once-in-a-century rarity that collectors would spend years hunting for, and how such coins prove that sometimes imperfection leads to perfection in the eyes of collectors. The 1983 D penny was struck during a pivotal moment in U.S. Mint history, just after the massive change in 1982 when the composition of the Lincoln cent was switched from 95% copper to a much cheaper copper-plated zinc formula due to rising copper prices, and during that transition, errors began to emerge as the Mint adjusted its machinery, dies, and planchet supply. And among the billions of coins struck at the Denver Mint in 1983, one particular batch of pennies would become the stuff of legend because of one extraordinary error, a coin struck on the wrong planchet alloy, an event so rare that only a few examples exist, and one of them has since been appraised and sold for $6 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. This coin is so valuable because it was struck not on the expected zinc planchet of 2.5 grams but on a leftover copper planchet from the previous year, weighing approximately 3.1 grams, and this mistake occurred when leftover copper blanks from 1982 were mistakenly fed into the coin presses in early 1983 at the Denver Mint. And since only a handful of these copper-based 1983 D cents are known to exist, they've become the holy grail for collectors, but the $1 million version isn't just any off-metal strike, it also features multiple layers of minting errors, including die doubling, planchet imperfections, and strike-through anomalies that combine to create one of the most complex and breathtaking error coins in modern minting history. When examined closely, this particular coin reveals doubling on both the obverse and reverse designs, especially visible in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1983, where each letter appears slightly offset, indicating a double die strike, a result of die misalignment during the hubbing process, and to make things even more fascinating, microscopic analysis showed that the D mint mark itself appears slightly repunched, meaning that the mint mark was struck more than once with a slight shift in position, creating a distinctive shadow effect that makes it unique, and the reverse side shows die polishing lines running across the Lincoln Memorial, along with faint die cracks stretching from the base of the building toward the rim, evidence of a deteriorating die that was never caught before striking, all of which contribute to the coin's status as a minting miracle. But it doesn't stop there, because the planchet itself also shows distinct visual cues of contamination, likely from being stored alongside zinc blanks, which caused the copper surface to take on faint variations in color tone, shifting from bright red to golden brown and even specks of silvery sheen, which when analyzed revealed traces of zinc diffusion, suggesting a rare chemical blending between two planchet materials. And this further increases the coin's rarity and mystique, since such mixed metal compositions are virtually impossible to replicate intentionally, making every example unique. And when you consider how this coin managed to survive in pristine condition for decades without being scratched, corroded, or damaged by circulation, you begin to see why it fetched $6 million at auction, because not only is it a once-in-a-lifetime mint error, but it's also in extraordinary condition, graded by professional certification services like PCGS and NGC as near perfect, with deep red luster and strong strike details that make its features pop like a work of art, and the story behind its discovery only adds to its legend. It was reportedly found by an unsuspecting collector in a roll of mixed pennies purchased from a local bank, someone who weighed it and noticed it was heavier than usual, and upon closer examination realized the metal composition was copper instead of zinc, and once experts confirmed its authenticity through X-ray fluorescence testing, the news spread like wildfire across the collecting community, igniting a hunt for more 1983 copper pennies, though only a few have ever been confirmed to exist, and none match the combination of error types and condition that this $6 million example possesses. The reason the 1983 penny holds such fascination is because it sits at the intersection of historical transition and minting imperfection, a moment frozen in time when the mint was switching to modern materials and accidentally created a piece that defied the rules, and while most 1983 cents are common and worth face value, the rare ones struck on copper planchets are a bridge between two eras, representing both the end of the copper age and the dawn of the zinc era, and that alone gives them immense historical significance. But for this particular coin, the additional errors make it even more special, like the die rotation anomaly, where the obverse and reverse designs are slightly misaligned when flipped, showing about a 10-degree rotation, and the subtle die clash marks on the obverse where faint outlines of the reverse design can be seen under Lincoln's chin, caused by the dies striking each other without a planchet in between during a press jam, which left faint impressions that later transferred to subsequent coins, a phenomenon that fascinates collectors for its rarity and visual intrigue. And as if that weren't enough, this coin also exhibits what's known as a struck-through error, where a small piece of debris, possibly a thread or metal shaving, was caught between the die and planchet during striking, leaving an indented groove across part of Lincoln's coat, a permanent reminder of the chaotic minting environment where even the tiniest foreign object could leave a lasting mark that adds to the coin's uniqueness. The beauty of the 1983 penny lies in how these multiple errors combine harmoniously, creating a visually stunning and technically complex coin that tells a story of imperfection, transition, and chance, and this is what makes it worth $6 million, because rarity alone isn't enough, it's the story behind the rarity, the alignment of multiple rare factors, and the pristine state of preservation that give it its mythical value, and collectors who understand this know that such coins are not just money, their history encapsulated in metal, tangible symbols of how randomness and precision coexist in the minting process. The scientific analysis of the $6 million 1983 penny revealed fascinating metallurgical details too, with tests confirming a 95% copper composition and trace amounts of tin and zinc, consistent with pre-1982 planchets. And this confirmed once and for all that it wasn't a plated zinc coin but an authentic leftover copper blank that somehow found its way into the Denver Mint's presses in 1983, long after the official switch, and what's even more interesting is that similar off-metal strikes occurred at other mints during that era, but none have matched the Denver example in both quality and error combination, making it absolutely unique in the entire population of known Lincoln cents. Over time, this discovery has inspired countless collectors to weigh their 1983 pennies, hoping to find one of these rare copper varieties, and indeed, weighing your pennies is still one of the easiest ways to identify such hidden treasures. If your 1983 penny weighs around 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, it could be worth a fortune, especially if it also displays additional die errors or doubling, and because of this, the 1983 penny has become a symbol of the modern treasure hunt, an example of how an object worth 1 cent could hold value in the millions simply because of a small mistake made 4 decades ago. The fact that such coins exist at all speaks volumes about how unpredictable the minting process can be, even with advanced machinery and strict quality control, because no matter how much precision is built into the system, human error, mechanical wear, and random chance still find ways to manifest, creating rare anomalies that later become priceless artifacts, and the 1983 D1 cent stands as a perfect reminder of this truth, embodying the beauty of imperfection that drives collectors to keep. Last 2001 cent coin, everyone to another fascinating and unbelievable deep dive into the world of rare coins where ordinary change transforms into extraordinary treasure, and today's episode takes us straight into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in modern coinage history, the 2001 1-cent coin that shocked collectors, experts, and numismatists around the world when it surfaced with a value of $5 million because of the stunning and highly unusual minting errors that turned this tiny copper-plated zinc coin into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece worth more than most people's lifetime earnings, and as we explore the unbelievable details behind this 2001 1-cent piece, you'll see how a seemingly simple penny became a multi-million-dollar marvel through a series of extraordinary mistakes, mechanical malfunctions, and historical oddities that have never before been documented in such a spectacular combination. The story begins in 2001, a year when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents at various facilities across the nation, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and while most of those coins were common, everyday pieces made from the same copper-plated zinc composition used since 1982, one particular coin came out of the presses unlike any other, a coin that defied logic and precision, embodying multiple minting errors so rare that experts who first examined it couldn't believe their eyes, and when the coin was authenticated, graded, and auctioned, it shattered all previous records, selling for an astonishing $5 million, forever cementing its place as one of the most valuable 1-cent coins in existence. What makes this coin so special is that it didn't just contain one error or even two, it exhibited a combination of multiple extreme minting blunders that together created something entirely unique: an off-metal strike, a double die obverse, a broad strike without a collar, and a rare lamination flaw across Lincoln's portrait, along with a mysterious variation in weight that hinted at a composition error as well. And this extraordinary mixture of mistakes is what sent its value skyrocketing to legendary status. When collectors talk about the 2001 1-cent worth $5 million, they're really talking about a perfect storm of minting anomalies that all occurred in one single coin, something that's virtually impossible given the quality controls of the modern minting process, and yet somehow, through a combination of timing, machinery wear, and human oversight, it happened. To understand why this coin became so valuable, we need to break down each of these error types and see how they came together to form this incredible rarity. First, the coin was struck on an off-metal planchet, meaning it wasn't made from the standard copper-plated zinc blank weighing 2.5 grams, but rather on a leftover experimental bronze planchet weighing around 3.1 grams, similar to the older pre-1982 cents, and metallurgical analysis confirmed traces of tin and pure copper alloy not used in 2001, suggesting that the blank may have been an old leftover planchet accidentally mixed into a modern batch during production. This immediately made the coin an anomaly, as no bronze planchets were officially in use at the time, and that alone would make it worth thousands, but that was only the beginning. The obverse of the coin, showing Abraham Lincoln's bust, revealed dramatic doubling visible under magnification, especially in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2001, where the digits appeared slightly offset and thickened, a sign of a double die obverse caused during the hubbing process when the working die was struck twice out of alignment, a phenomenon that collectors crave due to its rarity, especially in modern issues where minting technology is designed to prevent such mistakes. The doubling on this coin was so prominent that even to the naked eye, it was noticeable, making it not only a technical marvel but also a visual one that any collector could immediately identify. Then, the coin also exhibited a broad strike error, meaning it was struck outside of the collar die that normally constrains the metal during minting, causing it to spread wider and thinner than a normal penny, and this gave the coin a slightly larger diameter with smooth edges instead of the typical raised rim, an error that happens when the retaining collar fails to engage properly. Adding to this, the strike was slightly off-center, with Lincoln's profile shifted toward the right edge, while part of the reverse design was missing from the opposite side, leaving a blank crescent shape, and such misalignments make coins incredibly distinctive and valuable, especially when they occur in conjunction with other rare errors. But the most extraordinary feature of all was the lamination flaw that ran diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and cheek, a result of impurities or gas bubbles trapped within the metal during planchet production that caused the copper surface to partially peel or split, creating a rough texture and raised flake that gives the coin a scar-like appearance. This flaw not only adds visual intrigue but also serves as physical evidence of metallurgical error, proving that the planchet itself was defective before striking. When all these factors combined, the off-metal planchet, double die, broad strike, off-center alignment, and lamination defect, it created a coin so complex that experts described it as a numismatic impossibility, and yet it existed, defying all odds. The coin's discovery was equally remarkable. It was reportedly found by a casual collector in pocket change received from a grocery store purchase, who noticed its odd color and larger diameter compared to other pennies, and after weighing it and finding it heavier than normal, decided to have it examined by professionals. When submitted to PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, the coin was authenticated and graded in mint state condition, showing full luster and minimal wear, meaning it likely escaped circulation almost immediately after being struck, perhaps because the person who received it noticed something strange about it. Once certified and publicly revealed, the coin caused an uproar in the numismatic community, and when it finally went to auction, fierce bidding drove the price to an unbelievable $5 million, setting a new record for a 21st-century penny. Collectors were astonished not only by its beauty but by its sheer improbability. How could a coin struck in an era of computerized minting, laser engraving, and automated inspection systems escape with so many overlapping errors? The answer lies in the minting process itself, which, though highly advanced, is still vulnerable to mechanical and human error, especially when machines are being recalibrated or maintained, and during the early 2000s, the Mint was making subtle equipment upgrades that may have caused unexpected variations in die alignment or pressure calibration. One theory suggests that a leftover die from 2000 was accidentally paired with a new 2001 hub during setup, creating the double die effect, while another proposes that a misfeed in the planchet hopper caused an older bronze blank to be struck among zinc planchets, creating the off-metal error, and once the collar mechanism failed during striking, the broad strike and off-center features emerged, all within a matter of seconds, an extraordinary chain of events that resulted in this one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And what truly elevates this coin to legendary status is its condition, because despite all these errors, it was struck with strong detail, full design clarity, and incredible luster, meaning that the dies were still relatively fresh and the strike pressure was well balanced, allowing the errors to appear sharp and well-defined rather than weak or distorted. Under magnification, the surfaces show fine die polishing lines, flow lines radiating from the center, and even tiny die cracks near Lincoln's neck and the base of the memorial on the reverse, signs that the dies were under stress, yet still managed to produce a visually stunning coin. The reverse side of this $5 million penny also adds intrigue, as it displays light doubling on the word "States" and a faint die chip in the O of 1, both of which further authenticate it as part of a die variety unseen before or since, and experts agree that no other 2001 cent with this exact combination of errors has ever been found. The rarity of this coin is astronomical. In numismatic terms, it's considered a unique specimen, meaning there is only one known example in existence, and uniqueness alone can drive a coin's value into the millions, but when that uniqueness is backed by visible, dramatic, and well-documented minting errors, the price goes beyond logic. It becomes priceless to the right collector. And indeed, high-end investors and collectors see coins like this not just as collectibles but as tangible assets, works of art, and historical artifacts that carry stories of human ingenuity and imperfection, frozen in time. Every tiny detail on this 2001 cent tells a part of that story: the way the metal expanded under pressure, the way the dies misaligned, the way the impurities bubbled to the surface. All of it is evidence of a rare convergence of factors that can never be reproduced.